Don't have strong voices.
Hello online. We're just getting started. There'll be a little bit of chatter and then it'll quiet down shortly.
Maybe a help Rochelle voice. Just let me know anytime.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Monday, February 12th Monday meeting. Hope you all had a good week. Is there anything that you guys need to get out before we get started? Any like burning questions or tales from the street? Anything burning? Not yet. Okay, think about it. We'll ask you in a little bit. Do you have a burning thing? No? Good. We need to get it out. This is your chat.
This is therapy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is group therapy right now.
It's free.
Group therapy, 40 people here. I think we've got about 40 online right now as well.
Yeah.
And then we usually get another 100 or so after that. So. Yes, Claire's decided he'll pop in when he's speaking only.
We're experimenting with all this stuff here, so now we're gonna try something different. So
Don't worry, the background will get nicer one day. We'll figure it out.
Well, I'll turn it
kind of weird with
you then.
Should I just dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of you guys were here for the Chris leader stuff. Some of you guys weren't, but I'll do a summary of it, especially for our guys online. I thought it was a good session today. I know Claire was just saying he thought it was a good session. Did any of you guys like it today? Commission talk?
It's the question we all get.
Yeah, it's probably the most common objection you guys ever get is how much do you charge, right? So we're not going to talk about like what commission to offer and all that because that's against the law now. So I'm not going to put that on camera for you guys, but I'm just going to go over some of the stuff that he mentioned. For example, what are you worth? We all want a higher commission, but it's all about how you guys demonstrate why you're worth what you're worth, right? And I think that's where a lot of agents are having a lot of difficulties, especially these days, is that you guys know what you want to get paid, but you don't really know how to show why you should be getting paid that amount. He was talking about how people are attracted to you because of your quality of work and that sellers are continuing to rule the market. The prices are normalizing, but until inventory rises, the sellers are still going to rule the market right now. So that's why it's really important when you guys are figuring out what type of clients you want to work with. Sellers is always a great idea, in my opinion. It gets your name out there. You've got your name on a sign. You get to do all the marketing. You get leads from having listings. There's lots of reasons why you should go after sellers. But I know a lot of people don't because it is a harder client to land versus a buyer client where you're just going to do showings. There's not as much of a presentation involved, although we should. But working with sellers is always a hard gig, especially because it's the one that you got to fight for your commission the most. He talked about when agents advertise a house sold too quickly, it can paint the picture of an overpaid agent. Usually we all know that's not true because there's so much work to get the house on the market, but I even have started to notice some agents are promoting like over ask in 9 hours on the market. And I'm starting to see that in the last couple of weeks, and we don't want to get back into that rabbit hole where all of a sudden we're making selling homes sound too easy, right? And that's where the clients are going to come after us and try to ask for lower commissions because you sold it too fast, which is the whole point of our job is to sell it quickly and for the most amount of money, but sometimes the public doesn't see that. He talked a little bit about marketing and how marketing is building a brand, which I've talked to you guys many, many times about how marketing and advertising are two separate things. Marketing is talking about yourselves, who you are, what you do, whereas advertising is where you're actually selling something specific. So a home, right? Your services. Most agents focus too much on advertising and forget to actually market themselves. And I'm actually going to be talking a lot about that on Wednesday, which I'll touch on in a bit. One of the disturbing trends he spoke about was the pandemic agents. I apologize for my pandemic agents that are currently sitting with me right now because I know I've got a few. But it was a disturbing trend for a lot of us because a lot of agents got their licenses because of the easy money. And a lot of them never really got the proper training. The market changed and most of these agents have chosen to cut their fees in order to compete with us, like the full-time agents that are out there or have been doing this for many years. And we are finding that there's a lot of competition. I think it's always been competition for lower fees. I don't think this is anything special. Claire's been seeing this probably since the 70s, 80s, but it's another trend that we're going to talk about, which is the pandemic agent. They don't consider reducing their services. Some of them will still include staging and photography and all the good stuff for a very low fee, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to get more clients, more money. We want you guys to almost take less clients for more money and do less work for that, and or start reducing your fees if they're going to start asking you guys to reduce, or sorry, start reducing commission, no, services, if you guys are going to start cutting your salaries and all that in half, right? So we shouldn't be offering staging and photography to compete with these people that are offering really low, because what's the point? You're going to take home a few $1,000s for all that effort. An example of something this week. So we talked about how most of your marketing should be actually to be with people that you already know, right? And we talk about this all the time. Most of your business is going to come from your database, friends, family, people that you've built a connection with offline. And we forget about these types of people. So for example, it's Valentine's Day on Wednesday, my second favorite holiday of the year. Have you guys decided to do something for your clients to touch base with them? Send them a Valentine's card, send them a text, send them flowers, whatever it is. Are we thinking about doing these certain activities? I know we did business planning with some of you, and I always talk about think of the holidays that are in each of the months, and that's where you can kind of start your basis of different things to stay in touch with people.
Jonathan Griffith sent us a huge Valentine's Day basket. It's in the other room here, but he doesn't do that just because he likes us. He does that so he's top of mind when we want to refer a lawyer to you guys. So every holiday we get something from their office. Jonathan Griffith, the lawyer.
Yeah. So things like that will keep him on top of my mind. I fell in love. He said to Teddy Bear, I'll probably send him some more referrals, right? It sounds corny, but that's honestly what you guys got to do. I know we send the email blitzes and we can tell you guys to do those. Those will get you unsubscribes, unfortunately. So we actually are pulling back on the holiday campaigns. But if you guys can think of something you can Amazon some A+ clients for Valentine's Day, or send something, you can Amazon, flowers are mailable, whatever it is. Think of some of your top A clients that could really use some love this holiday. Sorry, I'm going to go really quick on these, but he did talk about 5 different strategies on, I guess, being able to sell yourselves and get full commission. So one of them was to have a personal relationship face to face and not just online. He did talk about choosing your lead generation very strategically, and he's talking about working with the people that you know. So going to your sphere, your geo farm, whatever it is. Lots of people are leaning towards buying online leads, which yes, you're going to get leads. The quality, terrible, very hard to track down a stranger that doesn't know you, like you, and trust you, right? Whereas your friends, your family, colleagues, these people already know you, like you, and trust you. So we should be marketing our efforts towards these people and spending a lot more time doing that. What else? Be a specialist and not an opportunist. So he was talking about how the Toronto agents, it seems really silly when you see a Toronto agent have a for sale sign up in Barrie. Why are we traveling that far? Probably because we're not selling enough houses to keep us in our own location. So there is a perception from the outside world if we are headed those ways. I'm not going to convince you guys not to go there, because of course we are in a low market.
And Barry just joined Toronto board too, so
it's very easy, but yeah, try to specialize in your areas if you can, so that you can avoid driving the hour and a half away. I know in this type of market, we have access to, for example, Barry's info, but sometimes it can give off a different type of perspective as well. Your target audience should be people similar to you. So we talked about if you're maybe in a younger generation, first-time home buyers. If you're in a boomers might be who you're going after, because you guys can relate to them on a different level. So if you don't know who your target audience is, that's where you could start. Offer creative services for your niche. Sure, we'll talk about that a little bit next week as well. Show up prepared. That was the number one I wanted you guys to take away with, was show up prepared when you guys are doing a listing presentation. So know your homework, research the area, show up on time with a gift, know your competition, the comparable properties that are currently on the market, what has sold. You're going to need to know this stuff because people are very educated and on House Sigma and all of that. So if you're at a listing presentation table and the seller knows a lot more about the properties than you do, then that's not a good look. So We need to show up to listing presentations, really understanding what our product is, focus on the seller's future plans, talk position rather than price. So a lot of the time we may lose a listing based off telling them a lower price, right? So if we can get away and start talking more strategy, where their house compares to the current houses on the market or what has already sold, how can we position their home to get sold versus saying this is what it's going to sell for. Let's talk about maybe more of the strategy of how we're going to get to a certain price versus just diving right into an evaluation of a home. Your confidence will skyrocket when you have more than one appointment per week, which is very true. I'm sure you all get appointments and get really happy about it. So the more appointments you book, the higher your confidence. And if you start to get people that are pressing you too hard on your commission, it's easier to let go of these people and not work with them when you have multiple appointments coming up and multiple opportunities. It's a little bit easier to be like, yeah, no problem. This guy's going to pay me more money. I'm going to move on and only work with people that want to pay me that commission. And then, of course, your homework was just to review your buyer and seller presentations. We talk about those all the time. You have access to them in the Google Drive. You all have presentations. This weekend alone, we had 2 or 3 agents reach out to us saying, I have a presentation tomorrow. What do I do? And I'm like, I've been training you for 6 months and I've shown you the presentation. And everyone wants to wait until the day of the presentation to do the presentation. And I want you guys to stop doing that. Just do the presentation, have it ready. Then when you get that phone call, you're not stressing out about getting trained 5 minutes before your presentation. It doesn't work like that. My first listing presentation, I trained with Nelson for 4 hours. And like, it's not a joke when you go into these appointments. It's hard to get the appointment. It's even harder to do the appointment. It's even harder to get that client to actually hire you. So when you get that opportunity, make sure you have everything ready to go. So all you're thinking about is what the comparable properties are. And you already have your presentation. I know Erin's got hers because I've seen it. So if you do not have one, please do that. That's my rant for today. Cool. Do you want me to talk about events or do that at the end?
Do that.
Okay. So on the topic of training, this Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a social media strategy presentation. It's probably my most highly requested presentation that I've never done before, surprisingly enough. You know, I love social media. So I'm going to be whipping open the Fulton Sisters account and showing you guys which posts actually land clients and which ones get attention, all that stuff, and what you guys can actually do in yours. So it's going to be pretty heavy strategy based, but I think really good. Awards gala, Century 21's having an awards gala. It's February 21st. I don't think we have a ton of signups for it yet. I believe it's $160 or $80. It's very expensive. It's in Vaughan. If you don't want to go to it, no pressure. We have ours for free for you guys, which I believe will be in April. We haven't settled on a date yet, but end of April after Eid and all of that is done. We wanted to do it March, but Eid takes priority over that. So we'll announce that. And then one final thing I want you guys to save the date for is March 19th. We're going to do a fired up event or a kickoff event. We've done it pre-COVID where we rent out a space. We've got Cameron Van Cly. I think a few of you guys have met him. He spoke at Central 21 Canada conference. He's a coach out in BC. So he's going to be coming in March 19th at Cedarbrae Golf Course. And we're going to put together like a 3-4 hour workshop for all of you guys, mostly on listings, I believe. So that's something to save the date for. Live event. Won't cost you guys money. Get some free coffee. Come hang out. That'll be fun. So that's what we've got planned.
Cool. Is anyone doing anything fun for Valentine's Day this week? Yes, or did you get out to your clients? You were asking us about that yesterday, right? Was it you?
Yeah.
Did you get out to see them or not yet?
No, I had a
Okay.
I couldn't get to that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I know someone, I was going to go do a pop dye for Valentine's and he asked the question, should I let them know in advance? And our answer was, depends on if they're extroverted or introverted. Because if they're introverted, yes, they'll want to know. They don't want a surprise visit. But if they're extroverted, yeah, you can just show up probably because they'll be happy to see you. And you said they're extroverted, so you'll go visit them. Nice. Yeah.
And it's okay to visit an introvert. Just leave it on their porch. Just smile. Claire did it on Friday. Varan did it for me too this week.
Yeah. People know we're
You
introverts.
drop it. I feel the love. I feel it.
Yeah.
You don't
Do a little wave in their ring
do a
camera.
wave in my ring camera. It's beautiful. So yeah, when you're doing your pop buys, always go based off your clients. If you know if they're social or not, they'll appreciate it either way, but the approach can be a little different.
Yes. For sure. Claire, you ready to talk about some stats then?
Sure, you want to do stats?
Yeah, we'll do
You can come
some,
in the camera now.
Claire's gonna
Stats.
do his market stat update.
Okay, so first of all, happy Year of the Dragon.
That's right.
Right?
Cool.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
what was that on Saturday?
Yeah, Lunar New Year.
Chinese New Year's,
Mhm.
Lunar New Year, so Year of the Dragon, so it's a good thing. So did you guys, I send those out to everybody. Used to be I'd separate like different people, like, Chinese New Year's and Eve send to you guys, but now I just send it to everybody.
Mhm.
Do you guys have the same opportunity? Like, do you guys, every time you want, you should have an opportunity to be able to contact your clients, but as the girls are saying, there are a lot of people will disengage when you do the
For a
holiday stuff.
mass email, I think for these types of things, it almost needs to be a little bit more.
The holidays are
personal.
tough. It depends on your database and your audience. We were testing it. We used to send every single holiday to everybody, and it was the first one people unsubscribed to. And it didn't matter what religion, what age, they unsubscribed automatically. So we sort of took back those holidays. But you could replace that with a social media post that goes out to everybody. Like we sent you the brick, so you could do a story that's only 24 hours. You could do a brick that lives on your grid. For you Claire's database, which is you guys, it makes sense for all of us to receive it because it's your message of like, hey, this is happening. It's an idea for you of what you can send to your clients, but just try it and measure it and see how your database does with it. Some people might love it. So it just depends on your audience.
So sticking to the market, the market's doing okay. Well, you guys tell me. So we're already, what's today's date?
12.
Today's the 12th. So I did my numbers for the 11th. So you guys tell me, is the market picking up, slowing down? What do you guys feel? What's the general?
That's a bit worse.
Active.
I think it is signs of our spring market. It's always better under any conditions.
There's
Yeah.
not
Even
cricket
though it's still
sunshine.
not the regular spring market, but it is busier than it was in December.
It's still not a boom. We've gone into a so-called spring market.
No.
I don't know.
Like prices haven't gone.
What you
as
Nelson,
high,
you
right?
find you've been busy last week?
The last couple of weeks, it's changed for sure. Yeah, the markets are good.
It's up a little bit there, so. Okay.
Yeah, Nelson.
It's okay.
Okay, good. Last week I was doing that Universal condos. I was saying that Universal condos came out there, and I wasn't sure how many places for sale or lease, whatever it is, on the one in Bailey, the Bailey at Universal.
Oh, yeah.
So I ran the numbers last week. This is from last week's numbers, but I had all the these are all rentals. There's 43 rentals in that one building.
You have two or three, I think.
You've got 2 or 3 in there. So they're going anywhere from $2,000, I guess, for a small unit to $2,800 for a 2-bedroom, 2 washrooms. So
So do people want to rent in
Interesting.
Pickering? Because they're about to get 70 new towers. Are we going to be able to fill it with people that want to live there?
that'll be a long time. Yeah.
I don't like, this is interesting.
Check a Broker Bay for appointments, and it's funny how the appointments are dead on Sundays, and the biggest day for appointments is the 10th. So the Fridays.
Friday night.
For the weekend?
Yeah, for the weekend appointments. Sorry, so there's quite a bit going on there. Taylor Swift. So who won the lottery with Taylor Swift? What lottery? How many times is Taylor Swift going to show up on TV? Wasn't there a gamble on
It
that?
wasn't as much as I thought.
I think it was like 22 times. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Well, this is a very optimistic.
I didn't
I
see your
think I
one,
got
so
excited.
I didn't watch it enough.
Optimistic
I
final
kept looking away and missing.
Yeah.
bet me $1,200.
Oh yeah.
He bet me $1,200 that by the end of April, the rates will drop by 3.5%.
Oh, okay.
And me, of course, I jump all over it. I lost $40 to him a couple of weeks ago on a basketball game. But I figured this is.
So somebody here is saying that they've got a client that made a bet. They said that the rates are going to drop by 3.5%, which means it's going to leave at 1.5% by the time that they're finished, right? Who wants to take that bet?
Anybody?
So what do you guys? Okay, so what are you guys telling your clients? Clients are saying that the rates are dropping. What do you guys say?
Well,
Because I've heard that a lot, but when you say dropping, what are you guys expecting
we
to
were
drop to?
dropping, I mean, originally 1/4% by early year.
Okay.
Gradual drops of 1/4% by at least the end of January, February. Now they're talking
Grand thing about that.
December. So we keep mentioning something and you know, the government media just keeps pushing it down further and
But I
further.
think people forget that if interest rates go down, prices are gonna come up. So which one would you prefer?
Well, we did a poll on our Instagram and most people picked higher price, lower rate than, and that was the consumers. And that's because the monthly fee, I think they'd rather have a lower
So
monthly.
they're looking at their budget.
Yeah. I thought that was a shocking response.
So
Most of the
America-
agents picked the other
Yeah,
one.
so Americans are talking about rates going up. Well, American economy is doing very, very well, and they're talking about an increase in the rates. So that's kind of an odd thing there too. But I think if they do come down, they're going to come down a quarter point. So is a quarter point going to make a difference to anything?
Mentally, yeah, I think it's a mind shift thing.
You know, and I'm talking to you guys because you guys are the leaders, right? Like, what are you thinking? What are you telling your clients? You telling your clients a quarter point if it comes down a quarter point? Well, no, that actually makes up quite a lot. So it's kind of curious. So reason why I'm asking is that you sort of have to know how to talk to your clients. It's expectation. What's your philosophy? What do you think? I don't think the interest rates are going to make that much difference. I think they've come down quite a bit. So they are going to come down maybe a quarter point, probably we're talking about the second quarter now. But I ran some numbers here just to do some comparables. Actually, before we do that, we'll get Varan's. What do you think? What are you guys being told about the interest rates?
So TD is predicting the prime to be at 3.5 by end of the year. So 1.5% cut by end of the year. That's
End of the
the
year.
1.5 to 2% from different banks.
Yeah, 3.5 by end of the year.
From 7.2?
From 5 to the Bank of Canada. Rate is like-
Yeah.
And I'm advising to kind of go on a 1-year term. Like a lot of people want to go on a 3-year term because the 3-year terms are lower rate than a 1-year term. So it depends on what the comfort level is. Some people like, you know what, even if it's dropped by significantly, I'm okay to take a lower rate right now. So a lot of the clients are going on a 3-year term, even though it's may come down by here. But
What's the 3-year?
get 4.99, 5.04, it depends on the lender.
Oh, that's interesting. So I've got a number here, and you guys tell me how to interpret these numbers here. In the peak of February 22, the average price was 1.334. That was the peak in the real estate market, right? And the interest rate at that time was 1.9%. And then what happened in February 22? That was 1.9%. And then in March of 22, April, they started jacking the rates up, and then the market went down. But if you were to buy that house, you were to buy that 1.334 house, and you put 20% down, 20% down would be about $266,000. And you had a 1.9% mortgage. The mortgage itself would be like whatever that is, 1,334 minus 266, whatever that is. The mortgage payment is going to be $4,400 a month. For $4,400 if you bought that house in February 22. If you bought that same house today, average price now is $1,026,000, and the interest rates are 4.9.
Let's say 5%.
Right? So that same house with the same $266,000 deposit, not 20% anymore, but the 266 deposit, the payments for that house based on the 4.99 are $4,400. It's the same.
An exact direct like correlation.
It's a huge
So
difference.
so how do you, so the market is the same today as it was in the peak.
Yeah.
You know what I get?
Yeah.
And it boils down to what I've always said too, saying that they qualify for 40% TDS. And that's it. That's a hard number. That's a hard number. What is it now? Is it 40%?
44.
44% is a hard number. Nobody's got raises. If they got a raise, maybe 2-3%. But that's a hard number. So that's all they can afford. So it's no surprise that the interest rates are a direct correlation to the price. So that same house will always be $4,400 mortgage. Doesn't matter if the mortgage rates go up to 10%. It's still going to be $4,400.
That's mean price will come down.
Price is going to come down. So the interest rates are a direct correlation to price.
This is
Just-
great to
just-
show at
just-
a
just
buyer's
showing.
presentation. Like you can pull this up
Yeah,
yourself and
So-
show them the
so
comparison.
Mr. I want to wait for the prices to come down. The prices have come down. What, the interest rates have come up? Yes, they have come up, but your payments stayed the same.
And you can renew.
So there's no reason not to move forward. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
Yes.
You guys have to divide that and figure how it works. With price of home.
I think it'd be part of the buyer's
Those are the two
presentation.
numbers. Anyway, it's something to talk. Just to recap again, also what Chris was saying there, Zillow in the States, we got Zillow up here too. Has anybody signed up for Zillow? you guys sign up for Zillow? Any reason why not?
Forgot my-
I signed up for it.
Like Zillow's been in Canada now. Central 21 was actually the first national company to give listings to Zillow about 5 years ago. And you can actually go in there and you can be a preferred agent and pay for it, or you can actually be an agent and at least show up when somebody sees your listing on Zillow. It's just a matter of signing up. I don't think it costs you anything. But in the States, did you hear what he said there? In the States, what Zillow does, Zillow's bigger than Realtor.ca in the States. Anybody in the States that looks for real estate, they go to Zillow. They don't go to Realtor.com. They go to Zillow. Zillow is like a huge marketing machine. They're not even brokers. Agents then, to be on that list, like they'll have a listing, and to be a preferred agent, you can actually have your name as, looks like it's the listing agent, even though you're not. You understand what I'm saying? So if somebody inquires about that listing on Zillow, it's going to go to whoever pays Zillow to be there. And they want 40% referral fee.
That's crazy.
That's just a gigantic number. Holy crap. Shiv's telling me, Shiv's knows some guy in the States, some big shot down there, does lots of stuff. And he's spending like $10,000 a month in Zillow fees or some crazy number. Anyway, so some of you want to do something different, see what Zillow's doing, if it suits you or not, there's something there. Stock market is up, right? That's good news. Employment's up, even though Bell Canada wants to lay off 4,000 people. Do you think that's political, or you think that, I mean, they're getting real serious with that, right? But anyways. Yeah. And talk versus text, is that what he said? I don't know. That's a millennium thing, I guess.
We said no.
I think know your audience.
Yeah.
So let's look at the numbers here right now. So Kari's got the numbers for the year, but I'm just gonna, want to do the year end? Did you do that already, or
No, I haven't done
want
that.
me to do that?
Yep.
I want to do the year. So as of February 11th, then we've got 12,048 active listings as of last night.
Ooh, it's going up.
So it's going up, right? The freeholds are 5,900, the condos are 6,100. Of the 12,048, 5,000, actually 5,100 of those are owner occupied. The others are not. There's 12,048 active listings. I went in there and I searched for occupancy and I asked for owner occupied. I came up with 5,090. Which means the other ones are not owner occupied.
But could be tenanted or vacant.
Could be a vacant parking lot for all I know, right? But it's just a number up there, right? Of that, okay, of the listings, there's 12,048 active listings. There's 5,000. I said 5,900 of freeholds, 6,100 condos. Of the 5,900 freeholds, 3,000 are owner occupied. Of the 6,000 condos, 2,000 are occupied. So that makes sense too. Why condominiums would be less occupied, right? Sales, though, for the first 11 days in February were actually only up 3%. And freeholds are actually up 8% for the first 11 days in February, and condos are down 3%. Anybody have condos they're trying to sell right now? Who's got condos for sale right now? No listings? No? Nobody here? People at home then. Leases, the leases are 14,000 active listings out there.
Whoa.
14,000.
And they're complaining about affordable housing.
And the leases themselves for the first 11 days are actually down 3%. The freehold leases are down 12%. The condo leases are up 2%. Interesting. Toronto's real estate market roars back to life, ending short-lived buyers. Did you have this too?
No.
Want to talk about that?
You can also talk about this one too, that ties into your rentals.
Okay, just stick with the rentals here, just so you know. All across Canada, they did this thing here called the Canada rental market faces historical challenges of record low vacancy rates, but they're talking about purpose built. They're not talking about condos. They're not talking about our clients. They're just talking about purpose built condos. I thought this was curious. These numbers here in Toronto, the average increase in rent for Toronto is 4.4%. I don't know how they got that because I thought 2.5 was the max. But anyways, they got 4.4. I guess people do renovations and whatnot. Soon as, and this is purpose built, okay? So but as soon as the tenant moves out, what do you think? What do you think the increase, the average increase of rent would be? 40%. So when somebody moves out of a purpose built, they jack up the rent 40% to bring it to market value. Just goes to show you how depressed the rental market is for purpose built rentals, right?
My friend lives in a market. been there forever, his mom. Then he moved in with her and his wife moved in with her. She died a couple years ago. And they just, like, I don't even know if the building knows she died. They just continue paying the rent. You know, which is really, really cheap. Like you said, it would probably double.
That's why they're not moving on.
So what are they paying now?
Whatever she would pay, like 2-bedroom, I think, or 900 or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You have
Prime
such,
location.
Kay's gonna do a social media thing on Wednesday, just talk about social media. Social media is it's a funny thing, isn't it? Like, you really have to be social. A lot of people want to go to back at you realtor, or they want to hire somebody to do their stuff for them. It's a different animal, social. It's a really different thing. But anyways, go to that session. But you gotta be careful what you write. These guys here, downtown Toronto, Condos Plus. You know, Condos Plus right on Kings Quay.
Yeah.
You know, they got they're in the basement of that condo there, so they got a sign up there, and it says here that our landlords grow rich in their sleep. Meaning that they manage the rental properties for the landlords, and they manage it for the landlords, so the landlords are making money while they're sleeping.
Except they're probably out of money.
No, all the poor people saw this sign, they thought it was a slap in the face. They said landlords can sleep. Meanwhile, they can't even afford to put food on their table and pay rent. These guys are making money in their sleep. So they got all this bad press from Blog TO. Anybody follow Blog TO? Blog TO is very, very right wing, right? It's left or right? Very NDP. Is that left? I guess left. Very lefty, tree huggers. You know, it's all for the tenant and so on and so forth, right? So you gotta be careful what
Be
you say.
careful with what you're putting out on your own social media channels too, right? Because everyone, there's two
This is my
sides.
point. You be careful with your social media stuff. It can backfire on you like just like that. It's like wildfire.
They call it cancel culture, where they cancel you completely. I won't encourage that this week. Don't worry.
Now, strong start to home sales, 2024, and likely to delay Bank of Canada rate cuts. So even though we've done well in the first month so far, they don't think they're going to stop the bank from increasing the rates. That's what they're saying. And that's it. Okay, so Carr's going to finish with the FinTrack stuff.
FinTrack, oh, that's like the least exciting thing I was going to talk about today.
Or you went to Trevor.
That's okay. I can talk about, well, I mean, the only thing with FinTrack is they're changing the forms again. So I think they're ready actually, but I tried to look at them last week myself. I can't really find a big difference except that there's like a checklist of things. So instead of just saying they're physically present low risk, I think there's more questions to determine that they're low risk. So we'll send that out today. Tressa's also changing their forms again. I think I talked about it last week a little bit. The only thing I'll give you right now as homework is to start doing the RICO information guide. That is mandatory. So start having your clients sign that. Earlier this year, we said that they just had to be sent to and explained to, but you actually have to sign it now. I don't have a hard deadline of when these trust up things are changing. I bug Oria like every day and it's not ready yet. So as soon as it's ready, I will let you know, but I'm cautious of sending too many changes because we have like 9 revisions already on that workflow. So I kind of just want to make sure that they feel good about these changes and that they're solidified, because otherwise every month we're going to be changing it and sending you new forms. So the girls will always have the most recent packages. So we're going to revamp those as well. But other than FinTrack, was there anything new there other than the politically exposed risk like this?
Well, FinTrack. So has anybody tried that FinTracker app?
Or know about it.
Anybody know about the FinTracker app? Okay, so I had Urfa and I were talking about it on Friday, right? So we went to 2 sheets on the FinTrack for identifying clients. We used to have 2 clients on one identification form. Now we got 1 each. So rather than 2 on 1, that was an office form we did just to try to streamline things. But now the way things are going, we had to go back to the 1 each for each client. But the reason why I did that also is because FinTrack, if you want to go to FinTrack, all you need to do is get the app and get the client's driver's license. And you scan the driver's license with the app and it fills out the form for you. All you have to fill in after it's been done, you got to fill out what the guy does for a living. But it's got the driver's license number, it's got the date of birth, it's got their names. So it's a simple thing to do. So that's why we thought, well, okay, maybe people use that more often. That's why we switched over to the 2-step. Does anybody use that at all? Irfan, you looked at it, right? Did it fill it out completely, or is it half filled out, or half filled? Yeah, it's not the whole thing, but it's better than a kick in the pants, right?
What's it called, spin tracker?
Fin tracker.
Pin tracker, and it's on Toronto MLS, so.
Yeah, this article says this is embarrassing. 99.5% of Canadian brokerages are totally non-compliant. That's really scary, guys. I hope that we're not. 99.5% of Canadian brokerages are not compliant.
I believe it. I believe it.
I hope we're a little bit better than that, but I mean, we've never been ones to really like bug you guys about this stuff, but this is a legal, federal program, right? So
Do they expect, honestly, when you say fill out that low risk, medium risk, high risk? We're all in this business to make money, to get the deal closed.
yeah, but we want to
So-
make money with people that are we can make
Or
money
normal
from,
people.
right? So yeah, 99.5% of the people you're going to deal with are going to be low risk, physically present, low risk, right?
And if-
But there's going to be a percentage of people that are not. We watched the
and if I
webinar
don't
last
wanna know
week.
anything about-
Yeah, no,
I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna sell them, I just don't wanna know anything about your business.
yeah,
So
but
who
we
would
need
like to pry into what you do. and
because
how
the
you
law
do it?
says we have to.
Yeah, I know.
That's why, right? So, I mean,
We're
as
on
a,
camera here.
no, but even as a brokerage, like we're responsible for making sure there's a compliance program, which we have. We have to report all suspicious transactions. So you guys have to let us know as brokers so we can report them for you. Keep all your records. That's our responsibility. So when you guys don't do that, we're the ones that get in trouble
Who's
for
coming
that.
to jail with us?
Right? So I hope we're taking someone. I'm not going by myself. It's lonely and there's FinTrack jail. No, and then yeah, they're saying technology makes it a little easier. I think it actually makes it a little bit more complicated. Personally, I'd rather just fill out the forms for individual, but there are apps to help you.
Do mortgage people have to fill these out? You do too,
Yeah.
right?
We have a huge private mortgage brokerage, so it's like a lot, everyone's
Okay.
failing.
Yeah, Vern has a whole separate like department and person that does this.
Well, they're trying to make us do that too.
HSBC is in trouble, right? With a lot of major mortgage fraud.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's been exposed.
Yeah, and it's all.
So Claire, you talked about February stats, so it's only 3% up from Feb 11. So the January market stats, the media is boasting about the fact that we're 37% increase from last year, which makes sense because January 2023 we were down. So they're bragging about 37% increase, which it is on paper. Their stats are a little bit different too. Like we always pull about 12,000 stats. They're pulling about 10,000. So we're not sure if maybe we're included like parking lots and things like that Treb's not. So you're always going to see a little bit of a difference when we do this one. The January figures will, what Claire's telling you is always real time, like this week. So what decent is what Treb has pulled as well. Every time I try to find an article to share with you about that, I didn't like any of the articles. They were quite negative. Like they're boasting about 30% up means that it's really great for investors, which, we still want people to be able to afford houses. So I just didn't find any fun article that really explained what was happening in the stats. I think what Claire's sharing is much more relatable and relevant. I'm just gonna go through this. Did anyone go to the Treb annual Outlook meeting last week?
There's one this Friday in Durham, if anyone wants to. I'm gonna go to it.
I only saw one of our guys, just Tess was there with me. So I went to it as well. And there's a couple stats that were interesting. You're gonna go to the Durham?
I'm
one,
gonna
I
do the
think?
Durham. It's in Ajax if you guys want.
It's like a full breakfast. I actually didn't realize how big of an event it was. It's
Now
full,
they'll come.
it's full on breakfast, coffee, like full buffet, like eggs, bacon, like everything. I walked in, I expected to be like in a little boardroom. Like I thought it was just like a
That's
small
where our
meeting.
money's going.
There was hundreds of people there. There was like 100 tables. I couldn't believe how busy it was. So I was a little bit shy at first. I had to like run around and find a table, but some interesting stats, and you can actually download, it's their entire 2024 Outlook review. You can download it. I can also send it to you via WhatsApp as well. I have a hard copy though too. There's some stats that I found interesting, and when I tell you these stats, it's meant to be used as a lead magnet. So I want you to use these stats as a way to capture people in your database or on social media. Caitlin, do you want to explain quickly what a lead magnet is so that people can think about this when I'm reading you some of these stats? Because Caitlin talks a lot about lead magnets.
Yeah, so lead magnet is really just something that you provide that somebody puts their hand up that they want and they give you their contact information for it. So like a home buyer's guide, a seller's guide, a list of homes under 700,000, a home evaluation. Those are lead magnets. So something you're offering to your target audience.
Yeah. So think about
Yeah.
lead magnets that you can do for these stats that Treb came up with. So I already sent this one in WhatsApp because I thought it was interesting, but 86% of new Canadians who are intending to buy intend to use a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So we know that immigration is going to increase. It's already increased a lot. It's going to keep growing. But 86% of those new Canadians who are eligible to buy and intending to buy are going to use a real estate agent. So think about what can you post on your social media or what can you do in your database to attract new Canadians? What do new Canadians need to know about using a real estate agent? They probably need to know how much to put down. They might need a bit of education on the interest rate,
Like a
on the
nice
process.
checklist of everything you need to do to buy your first home in Ontario would be a really great lead magnet for that. But you got to figure out where to find those people to give them that lead magnet. So if they're not on your social media, you shouldn't be promoting it on there, but it could be through mail outs, going to networking events where maybe a lot of people come new to the
It could be
country.
your database where they're
Yeah.
bringing in family members, they're sponsoring them themselves. You could target those types of people who you know have family in other countries who are
Yeah.
coming here. So it's the highest the stats ever been. So just think about that. This one was tolerance of rent increases. So they did a survey where they asked renters, what is the amount that your landlord would increase rent that you would say, I'm not going to rent anymore, I'm going to buy instead. So what was their tolerance? So people said if the landlord didn't do any rent increase at all, what's your motivation to buy? And 33% of people said, I'm already considering purchasing a home. So it doesn't matter what they increase, and I'm already thinking about it. But think about that for you people who are renting right now, they're probably thinking about buying a house at some point. So don't forget, I know we're doing leases and Claire hates the number of leases that we do, but there is a reason why we train on it. In certain markets, it's good, and those people may buy one day. So
Or know people.
exactly. 19% said there's a certain threshold where if their landlord were to increase their rent, they would consider buying. So think about that. If they're in a building where there is rent increases, it's built after 2018, and they know there's going to be rental increase, they may be thinking about buying as well. Yeah. Now, on the other hand, yeah, I mean, you don't want to force them. These are people that have self-motivation on their own. But 48% of people said, I would never seriously consider purchasing a home.
That's intense.
So there's about half of people who literally are not interested in buying a home. They're going to rent forever. So don't focus all of your efforts
That's a
on these
good,
people.
if I were you guys and I was thinking putting my marketing brain on, I would actually send out this poll to all of my tenant clients in an email saying, if my landlord increased my fees, would I move? And say yes, no, maybe. And then you might find on there some of your tenant clients that may actually consider a move. So if I were sitting here with a nice list of tenant leads in my database, I would send an email out today saying,
Mhm.
if your landlord increases it, what are your plans?
Because I've heard a lot too where people place somebody in a place and then they don't keep in touch with them, and then they found it, they bought, and they'll say, oh, I didn't realize you also do buying and selling. I thought you were a leasing
Mhm.
agent. So you got to keep in
It's
touch
true.
with these people and get them in your database.
Just Carter made a comment that I don't like leases.
Sorry.
I don't like leases because we're doing too many of them, and it's a lost leader. But anyway, so I have to deal with that. But
Okay, so what's wrong?
but the only reason why we're doing leases is so that being a lost leader, meaning that you've got somebody you've dealt with and somebody that's going to be in your database and somebody you're going to follow up and hopefully sell them a house in the future. But if you're doing these leases and you're not putting those tenants in some type of database that's follow up, then basically you're losing the whole point of lost leader.
Yeah.
The whole point disappears if
Is
you're
to
not
follow up.
doing the follow up.
You should have in your calendar like 3-4 months before the end of their next term is a follow-up point to say, hey, are you renewing that lease, or are you considering maybe purchasing, and can we book a buyer's meeting to talk about what that process looks
So
like?
on that note, they actually did a survey of how long it takes a renter to purchase a house, and they divided it between GTA people and new Canadians as well. So 13% of new Canadians will take 20 years to buy a home. But don't worry, the stats get a little bit better. 8% of already Canadians, 1% of new Canadians will take 11 to 19 years. That's pretty small as well. But then 25% of already Canadians and 20% of new Canadians will purchase a home in 2 years or less.
Of renting.
So that means they're renting for 2 years and then they're going to purchase a home. So the bulk of the people are between 2 and then even 3 to 4 years. There's 28% of new Canadians are 3 to 4 years. So sometime in that 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 years, they're going to purchase something. There is still some that will do 20 years. We don't want to focus on those people. Okay, so think about lead magnets again, and Caitlin will help give you ideas. So reasons for not planning to purchase a home in the next year. So these are people that are not going to buy, and these are their main reasons. So some people said 23% of people said too much economic uncertainty. So 23% of people are kind of scared about it. So they're not ready yet. 27% of people said interest mortgage rates are too high. So we already talked about today how to overcome those types of people, right? 30% of people said, I already own a home. So they're not going there, they already own. We also learned about a stat where people in Durham are less likely to move right now than people in Toronto. So that might tell you to focus a little bit on your Toronto people, because people in Durham have sort of transited there recently and they're really happy there. They've got good value there. They're not looking to move, where people in Toronto are looking to move out to those areas. 33% of people said it's too expensive to buy a home. So those people, you might be looking at different areas, right? Looking at different budgets, different areas.
No, look at the way 67% said it's a good time to buy a home.
That's right. There you go. There you go. Right? It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be reverted. So here, revert this one. So 33 people said, I can't afford it.
67% can.
Right?
Positivity.
So this is good.
Yeah.
Okay. These,
It's
I'm almost
funny,
done.
I had a couple that were phone calling once, and one of the couples said to me, well, they had all their friends. One of the couples said, well, half those are his friends, not my friends. And I said, well, what about the other half? Oh, okay.
Well, see, there's always
Yeah.
a way to spin it, right?
Right.
So these are reasons for listing their home for sale. And I'm just going to go from the bottom up. So 12% of people said my mortgage is up for renewal and I won't be able to afford the increase in my payments. So that's going to be a reason for them to list a home. So you may want to touch base with your people that are in that situation, that are going through some financial hardships. 12% of people said I want to be closer to work, family, school. A lot of people are not working downtown anymore, right? People are working from home. People are way more transient than they used to be. 13% of people said my financial situation has changed and I need to move into a cheaper home. So that's similar to the other one. 13 said I want to right size and move into a smaller house. So that's good for us. So the people that are downsizing and they usually probably don't even have mortgages, right? They're taking their cash and downsizing. So this was a bigger increase from 2022. I can't afford the expenses or taxes. So this is a common theme with our economy right now. 15% said I can get a good price for my home right now, so I might as well sell. So some people are cashing out. 18% my life and family is changing. Also 18%, I want to move to a different neighborhood, city, province. So think about still your referral business and that you can refer all over Canada as well. 21% just want to buy another home. So they're going to list theirs for sale and they're going to buy a new one. 22% said I want to make money profit. So those are probably your investors that are cashing in right now. And the biggest one was I want to move into a bigger house. These are just people that are probably in condos and they're ready for something bigger. So 23% said their reason for listing a house is to move into a bigger house. And then the last one is just source of down payment, where people are getting their money from. So 15% are getting it from their parents. So you may want to target people's parents. If you know younger people, maybe go after their parents as well. Keep in touch with them. 6% are coming from grandparents, aunts, and uncles. 3% is coming from friends. So people are helping
Nice
out
friends.
really nice friends.
Nice.
And then
I always think it's fun to have like a seminar or something for your past clients, especially if you've got clients that have kids in their 20s, 30s, and doing a seminar on how they can help their kids buy a home and how they can use their money and pull equity out of their $200,000 homes that are now worth a lot more. And I'm sure there's lots of seminars that you guys could do to educate people on how they can help their 35-year-old kids. I've got to say, I'd say probably 90% of my clients, and not even in my own age group, their money comes from their parents. It's not like a shameful thing. It's just facts, but it's not a lot of people talk about it.
Trev issued today. I'm not going to go through it because it's just about self-represented parties. We've been bugging Trev to help us understand how to receive commissions from self-represented parties, and I still don't know from this. This is a whole flow chart of how you talk to them.
I don't think nobody here has ever even dealt with a self-represented party.
Not a true, like, not
Property
ever.
guys
Someone
is
says,
not-
I'm going to represent myself. No one's said that. No one's going to say that.
No.
They do until they realize they got to write their own offer and all that.
Yeah, like I very few people are going to do that. So Trev is issuing some stuff, but I would like to see more.
Did you guys get anybody here get a survey from Maria saying how to fill out a survey and how to tell us how we're doing? Did anybody get that? I didn't fill it out yet. I got it last week. I never filled it out. Did you guys fill it out? So did anybody remember getting it? Who got it?
I got it.
So I assume that those that didn't put up the hand never got it or
Didn't look.
didn't look
That was from.
from Maria. No?
Well, a little late if you did. That's the point.
Alright.
I'm not, these are scary. I'm not gonna talk about these ones. These are negative. Claire has
I
articles.
gotta talk.
You talk about it then. I'm not bringing negative energy here.
I'm not gonna do this.
Claire doesn't usually bring the negative.
I did
energy
that one
either.
for somebody else. This is
Who's that for?
no, this is somebody else was talking about. Okay, so
Okay.
what's the worst condo in Toronto?
Oh, I heard down.
Then you're.
That's a good one.
That's a
Isn't
good
it?
one.
Isn't
No,
that new?
no,
Oh.
that's a terrible one. Terrible parking.
This agent here says that the worst condo in Toronto is not ice.
Ooh.
Not the ice.
They're saying it's 251 Jarvis.
Yes, there it is.
That looks new.
Dundas and
What's wrong with
Jarvis.
that?
Do you know, every
I
day
took a
police
picture, I
are
wanna look it
blocking that road. Outside 10-year-olds.
I don't know why.
So this one here, 251, they're saying it's the
Dundas.
worst. They're saying the layout's awful. It says that some apartment leaked on the 15th floor, went through all the apartments below. Now there's all mold in the whole condo. Somebody got stuck in the elevator for an hour and a half. One's the hydro bill was $350 per month. So anyways, that's the worst one. So be careful on
So
that.
avoid
251.
251 Jarvis.
Okay, a couple things. So a couple agents were surprised about this here. I'm surprised that we're now doing EFTs, right? So we're gonna send you all our letters soon about talking about electronic fund transfers, rather than you guys having to come here and pick up checks and then email them to you and so on and so forth. We do it through all EFT, right? That seems to be the direction everybody's going right now. So that's the way you do it. And a lot of people are paying that $50 monthly fee. They're paying that automatically as well, so it doesn't build up. So we're gonna write you a letter somewhere between next time they're gonna talk about these two things. But some guys from the other branches, I'm delivering these checks to them, and then they're saying, well, they didn't even know we could do EFT. So that's what I'm talking about. Everybody know what I'm talking about, EFT? Electronic fund transfers, right?
Most new
sent
people that we bring on, we just do it sort of in that process, but anyone that was existing,
This is more for the older folks there. So the guys that,
experience,
you know,
experience.
and just to show you how I think, in my old mind, I always thought that somebody wants to get a physical check and show it to the spouse, and there it is, right? But then, but not what? So now everything.
Now they wanna hide it.
Now they want to show them their bank balance instead of a check, right? So or do it.
I show her the credit card statement. She has that.
So anyway, so we'll just probably, I don't know how we'll do. We'll do some kind of letter or email or something, just to remind everybody that we do EFTs and we do the PADs as well. So we'll deal with that after. And then I felt good this year. February 29th comes around, what, every 4 years? And every 4 years I get a free day of people working downstairs. You understand what I'm saying?
You pay them up here though.
I pay everybody's salaries, right? So if they work 29 days versus 28, they get paid the same. So I get a free day. Right? But then they took it back because now I have to pay them for family day off. So now so whatever I gain, I lose again. So I'm back to square one.
But we're not closed family day, are we? Probably not.
Family day, no, we're not closed. But are we on
Yeah, 10 to 4, no.
10, we're on- we're-
No
we're-
meeting.
So there will be no Monday.
No meeting this
So there's
coming
no
Monday.
meeting next week. We're off. We're hours next week can be 10 till 4.
So we're still doing offers, still doing that kind of stuff, just we're not,
Just no
we will not be here.
no office
physically.
meeting next week, and then got that too. Good. Anybody have any problems you want to talk about?
Properties, anyone do open houses?
It's nice lake house we have. 10
Yeah.
acres and,
Oh, it is really
How's
nice.
that one going?
13 groups.
So 13 groups in a PEC listing, Prince Edward
Yeah.
County.
What's
That's
the price on that one?
So it's just under 1.9.
Yes.
4,000.
And is it people from like the area or people from Toronto that are like,
A lot of people are from Brokerage Region and Durham.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I love it out there. It's so nice.
Are you holding offers on that one? Interesting. It looks nice.
And where are those people going? Like, what are they doing? Just curious. The sellers. Like, why are they selling?
Oh, they're like cashing in on their investment.
Okay, so they're part of that 23% of people that are cashing in. Yeah. Yeah. And are Airbnb rules the same? You can't really, they have a limited number, I think, of short-term rentals and
So this one is actually called the good STA license.
Yeah.
It's worth about grand where you don't have to be on site when guests
Awesome.
come in.
Yes.
Mm.
So that adds a lot of value.
Yeah,
to
it does.
But yeah.
Nice.
super good.
Yeah, cool. Anyone
All
else?
undeeded access, like private dog, shoreline,
Yeah, we
all
should
of
look
that, unprotected. area.
Hardly sold.
I'm like, I'm sold.
Let's go
All
look
right.
at it.
Well, it's the time of year, right? It's spring is coming and everybody, if they wanna come in, like it might
And
go
he's-
over.
he's
at-
How's the
Rooming.
manicuring? Is it low maintenance?
No, it's 10 acres.
How do we fix that?
We're gonna get you on a John Deere a lawnmower.
I'll ride a John.
That'd be fun. Anyone else? New listings, open houses, tails? Yep, Eli. Oh, you want to be on camera too? You might as well. You're so close.
I'm not very close. I can't do what you guys do. I look like a Joseph.
How do we look like online? That
I don't know. I saw that video you did.
Yeah.
I saw those videos at Hirsch.
yeah, man.
Maybe don't smile. Just be serious. Stick to your brand. Stick to your brand.
A property is going on a bus today at 64 Sealstone, which is.
64
in the Seven
Sealstone?
Oaks, Nielsen and Oak Meadow. A nice
Nielsen and
area,
Oak Meadow.
A nice area, Albert, or whatever you call it. It's a 2-story, 4-bedroom on a fantastic lot, 45 by just 195 roughly. 3 baths, finished basement. Going out at 998 with a garage, double drive. 998 offer date. Not crazy expectation, 1-1, between 1-1-1-2. I think it's in the ballpark there.
And it's going on MLS today.
They bought it in 21 for 912 before the boom, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
right
it's-
before then.
Yeah, it's going on MLS today.
Can agents advertise it if they want to, or you want?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know. So if you're new and you want something to advertise.
It's a good listing to advertise. You'll get calls from it. Bungalows, are still going for, $1 million to 1.2, 1.3 and stuff, depending on where you are. So this is 4-bedroom. It's got some upgrades. Doesn't show great inside. The owners aren't. I've got a photographer that's gonna make the furniture disappear. Yeah.
The AI can do anything now. You can make it appear or disappear. That depends. what you
Virtual
need.
staging's pretty good these days.
Yeah, we've been moving towards virtual staging a little bit. It's just less labor, less.
He's removing them.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I knew they can stay.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy's out in Calgary and he's actually quite reasonable.
Good.
Calgary.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere. yeah.
Oh, I got his stuff. I reached out, he called me back.
Who's the-
blah, blah, blah. Hey?
Well, you
He's
send them
he's
the
gonna
real
send them the
photos.
I
photography.
took
and then-
pictures I took with my phone
Oh.
and they still came out pretty decent, actually.
Who's it?
Hey?
Yeah.
He asked me for that high JP peg, blah, blah, blah. I said, what the hell is that?
Big peg.
This sounds like a picture. I couldn't even send a photographer. There's no way. And the other point is it's 2.5 hours from here. So
So to Caitlin's point.
I double-ended it.
I saw that defense there.
I double-ended it,
Just,
you know.
just to remind you what Caitlin talked about some time ago, if you've got properties up in Bracebridge, you don't want to drive up there and you have to put a lockbox on there, just order the
Amazon
lockbox from
it.
Amazon, have it delivered right to the house and have your client stick it on.
That's a great idea.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, save yourself 4 hours.
Save yourself
gotta-
so much time. Same
No,
in downtown Toronto.
There's gotta be a sign guy out there.
Downtown Toronto, that you don't need to be driving your lock boxes to the houses anymore, guys, if you don't have to. Your clients will put it on.
Unless you're Sonic and you love driving around and seeing
Just show your
everybody.
client how to do it and away you go, huh?
Just
Yeah.
get on FaceTime, show them how to do it, whatever it is. But save yourself 3 hours.
Like literally you can, in the same day, depending on where in the city, and lockbox will be there the same day you order it. It's super fast.
They're not branded or anything cool, but save yourself a lot of
Because
time.
most people have been leaving them there anyways now, so you might as well buy a cheaper one.
We should see how many are hanging.
I probably got a lot downtown. I'm not going back.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else have anything? Tales from the streets? Pedro, is there anything online?
There's just one, property,
Okay. Is it interesting? What is it?
West Road,
Burlington property, luxury condo?
come back,
Coming soon, 2007 James Street.
Okay, so that's with Tess Cameron, if you have
In
anybody in
Burlington.
Burlington.
Goes live Feb 15th.
How much?
Great question.
Question for Tess. You can follow up
No,
with her.
it's a price. The price is good, she would have given.
Okay, all right.
We'll see you Wednesday,
See you-
social media marketing.
See you Wednesday. We will not see you
It's
Monday.
virtual.
Let's do a summary of our events. So Wednesday's your training,
Wednesday training.
March 19th fired up, and then awards will be to be announced somewhere late April. We know Eid is about a month long, so we're gonna wait till Eid is done for that.
So our
March,
friends
March
can-
19th, just regarding Ramadan, that March 19th is just gonna be a morning event to be finished at, what? 12?
Yeah, I think we only have it till like 12 or 1, so there won't be lunches or anything for you guys to
Yeah,
hate.
but
me
if you're
for.
celebrating Eid, you can still come and learn. I think that's okay, depending on what you're practicing. Okay, anything else? Nelson, anything?
I have-
Okay,
Yeah.
have a good week, everybody. We'll see
guys are
you.
good.
Goodbye online.
You can take the next couple Mondays.
Put that on camera.
off.